To order the February 17th meeting of the Allendale County Council. I'll ask Mr. Bill Robinson to our invocation. Councilman.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Let us pray. Oh, Heavenly Father, we beseech Thee as we gather this evening. Thank You for this day. Thank You for Your Son, Jesus Christ. Thank You for the privilege to serve others. We ask that the things we do here tonight will benefit all mankind. These blessings we ask in Thy holy and most merciful name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
All right, we have a quorum, so we got all council purposes here. I need to amend the agenda, a couple of things. Franklin Stanley wanted to be added to executive session.
Ms. Judy, do you have an extra agenda? I got it. Sorry. Got it.
He add that to executive session, as well as Councilman Gooding asked to appoint someone to the Airport Commission. I guess that he'd be under new business. Executive session would be Franklin Stanley, Allendale Fire Chief. And we also need to amend the agenda under new business, these ordinances. Mr. Walton, I'm assuming that'd be new business ordinance 1 and 2
Right.
with the park.
First reading.
First reading, and name only. Okay. Any motion for that?
Make a motion. We amend the agenda.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Nays? All right, motion's approved. Okay. All right, next we got approval of minutes. Third reading. Do we need, Mr. Walton, do we need to go into any of this as far as reading what we're doing, or?
Yeah, I would just generally tell them what we're doing, and I can say it if you want me to.
Yeah, that's fine. Go ahead. You are, somebody can do it.
We're going into the portion of the meeting where this is a public hearing regarding an ordinance adopting a redistricting plan for Allendale County, South Carolina, pursuant to the 2020 federal Decedial Census. And this is the public hearing. The county's already had 2 readings on this ordinance. And what it is because of the census and the change in population, the county is required to look at their districts to determine whether or not they need to redistrict districts in Allendale County. And currently, in the previous 2 readings, the county is not changing any of their districts. The change in population is within the variance that's required by state law, so there's no need to change any of the district lines. And what this ordinance is basically doing is approving the current district lines as they are for the next 10 years. For the next 10 years.
Okay. You have any questions or anything, or?
No.
Is there a time period we need to wait, or can we go right into the meeting?
You can go away.
Okay.
If
Just
you
want
don't
to make sure.
have any comments and y'all don't have anything to say, you can close out the public hearing.
Councilman Conley, anything to say? No. All right, Robbins, Mr. Gooden? Mr.
No, I got no comment.
Okay.
Make a motion that we close the public hearings.
And
Second.
All right, all in favor?
okay. Do we need to finalize the 3rd reading?
I think that's under new business, or old business, under old business, old business, yes, sir.
Okay. All right.
Okay. All right,
I second.
all right, favor?
Aye.
All right. Nays? All right, that passed. Okay, welcome everybody. Like I said, to our February meeting of the Allendale County Council. We got several people that want to talk under public comments. Not sure what order they came in, but Ms. Elaine said you're first on my list, so come on up.
Council, just briefly wanted to discuss a little bit about the centennial, just to inform you guys about the courthouse centennial. We're planning a celebration on March the 4th and 5th. The 4th is going to be Family and Friends Day on the courthouse grounds from 3 to 6. The 5th is going to be a semi-formal event on the courthouse grounds starts at 11. Our keynote speaker is Mr. Lonnie Hosey, and I have placed an invitation at your guys' station, and I'm asking the council to come out and support us.
All right, thank you, Ms. Lane. Look forward to it. Next is Angel Bradley. Hello, Miss Angel.
How are y'all?
Good.
I just wanted to thank you guys because I hound you guys a lot, so I just wanted to thank you for everything that you do, and thank you for the passing, the repealing the lifetime insurance benefits. That was a great step of faith, showing, you know, that you're concerned about the tax dollars and about the money in the county. And I know you guys have made strides in figuring out the money, and I appreciate that. I just want to really thank you for what you're doing. I also want to thank the assessor's office and the treasurer's office. This was the third year we worked with them for the ag, the issues with the ag taxes, and this was the smoothest year that we had. It's not perfect because we're still doing appeals. We should have something different going by now. So I'll send you guys a message about that and about some more conversations I've had with Department of Revenue, and just some suggestions on how I see things, you know, and that's just my opinion based on the law and things like that, and have some more conversation about that, because I'm speaking up for land in my family, but there are a lot of farmers who aren't speaking, and there's also some big landowners who, through third persons, have tried to make contact with me about what can be, you know, they're not getting the refunds because they don't know what to go do. And so we just need to address the issue and get it corrected. I also wanted to, if I didn't make the first meeting with Mr. Nate Hartley, but if you guys haven't been to one of his meetings, he's setting a great example for community input into things. And I just wanted to let you know about that, and some of the ideas, and just listening to the public. Also wanted to let you know the law enforcement consolidation. I support that fully. I know there are a lot of people who do. I know a lot of people with questions, but I do believe the analysis and everything is needed to protect the citizens of Allendale County, because, you know, hearing the stories of the shootings, and I just can't imagine being in the middle of that. So I do support more study on that. And again, I just want to thank you and pray and hope that you continue to listen to the needs of the people, because some of the things that I'm hearing most are the infrastructure, the jobs, and transparency and accountability. So thank you for what you do.
Thank you. Okay. Mr. Kari, is that, don't let me put your name, I apologize.
No, not a problem.
Come on up. You want to talk about Parks and Recreation?
I'm Kerry Johnson, representing for the Parks and Recreation.
Yes, sir.
Under the Fairfax and Barton demographic area.
Yes, sir.
I have one question to ask the council.
Yes, sir.
According to the fiscal year budget, the expenditure report for the Parks and Recreation, do you think $20,000 is a sufficient amount to run a successful Parks and Recreation program? Why not?
I don't think it is personally. I don't think it is at all. I don't think it is because you don't have enough, I don't think you have enough personnel down there. I also don't think you have the right facilities, and I don't think we have enough programs for these kids, and I don't think $20,000 will do it, to be totally honest with you.
Mr. Chairman, that's the answer that we as members been looking for.
Yeah.
We came together to write a proposal. We in a great need of something for the kids, you know, of Allendale County, and also, you know, to make everyone, I heard Ms. say accountability, you know, make everybody accountable for what they're doing.
I agree with you.
That's my take. I also have a proposal, if it's okay, you know, to give to council.
Sure.
Mr. Rush, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
And Mr. Swanson?
Mr. Gooden and Ms. Taylor, and for the record keeper, is it okay?
Miss Judy, yes, sir.
And the last thing I ask, if this proposal be put into the minutes, I know it would be too late for this one. maybe on the next month's meeting, after everybody review it.
Right.
To be put into the minutes.
Okay. If I may ask you, are you head of this, of course, Marlon, you head of this committee? You're okay. So who'd be the point of contact, you or Marlon?
Marlon,
Okay.
I've
got Marlon's contact information.
yes. Thank you, that's all I
Thank you for
have.
coming up. Appreciate your concern about the kids.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Marlon, you next.
So good evening, council. I'm going to be brief because Ms. Johnson had really touched base on pretty much everything I was going to say. Just being prepared to making sure everybody was here. We definitely want to shine a light on the recreation department because it's definitely a need again. And I'm not going to spin up here because we don't want to just prolong the meeting or whatever. So just like I said, just with proper and etiquette, definitely the staffing, revising the budget, some equipment that we may need to have a productive rec department program operating and running. So I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time. Mr. Johnson, Mr. Haygood, he going to touch bases on the Welcome Center part. So I just appreciate y'all for even giving us the opportunity to be able to speak and giving us the opportunity to give y'all our proposal. This is not the first time we will come. We're going to come with more things to make sure that the rec department gets its fair share. So I appreciate it.
Marlon, let me ask you a question.
Go ahead, sir.
Our rec department, we don't have Barnwell's rec department and Hampton's got basketball going on. Ours hadn't started. I see we got a flyer going out now. Ours is going to start like middle of March. I mean, that's when baseball season should be starting. Is there any particular reason for that, or?
Well, from my understanding, they met with the teams that we're supposed to play in our area, and they all agreed to have it postponed, not canceled, postponed to March for a summer league. And that's what they all agreed to. And right now, on that particular agenda, I don't really necessarily agree with it, but I don't want to deprive the kids of a program either. So
I agree.
it can happen that time. We just have.
Mr. Haygood.
Yes, sir. Councilman, yes, Councilman. The reason I'm here tonight is that I want to talk about, I want the county to actually look more into the Welcome Center. I think it'd be a great idea that we did some study for our actual RV park. I did some little bit of study on that, and it'll create a lot of money, and it can turn into a nice national park for Allendale. So I hope the county would take time out, and I would like to take the lead in this and bring you information back on this journey that I'm trying to do. And Bill, I know a little bit about it because I'm trying to do this the last couple of years. I just don't have the funds to do that. So, but I hope the county will take a long look at the Welcome Center and turn it into a nice RV park and a destination park for local and people that want to come through our county can stop in, and I think it'll bring a lot of revenue to the county.
And I kind of like to at least insert that, a long-term plan for the Welcome Center, Burger Dot, RV Park, just to see, and I think Sammy certainly has done some investigation in that, kind of see what that would entail and come back with some information for council to see if it's worth our investment.
Okay, thank you, guys.
All right, thanks, Sam. All right, Mr. David Rowell, next on the list.
Thank you, Mr. Gooding.
Yes, sir.
I just wanted to come by and introduce myself. For those of you that don't know me, my name is David Rowell. I'm a resident of Sycamore. Recently retired from the South Carolina Highway Patrol, and just wanted to let you know my intentions of running for the sheriff's race this coming June.
You throwing your hat in the ring, eh?
I'm gonna throw it in.
Okay.
Make a fresh set of eyes and do some good.
Thank you, David. Thank you for coming and speaking. Is Ms. Cheryl okay? Is Cheryl here?
I'm here.
What, you hidden in the corner?
How are you guys?
Hey, how are you, Ms. Kay?
Good. So I am Cheryl. I think most of you guys know me. Cheryl Cave. I am here in reference to a program that it's an event called Ignite Your Dreams Fest, May 13th and 14th in Allendale County. It's going to be on the campus of USC Salkehatchie. And the event is all about education and inspiration. And so the purpose of it is to really just encourage a community, you know, in ways that probably a lot of festivals don't do. So we're bringing in a lot of interesting pieces, I'll say. So of course, National Guard units, we want them on the campus. We want libraries on the campus. We want farmers on the campus. And so the big piece of it is having stations where kids and adults are actually walking through and learning about these different groups, these different organizations, these different businesses or industries, because a lot of them are community-based, a lot of them are local. And so the Ignite Your Dreams Fest, May 13th and 14th, it falls right in line with what's happening with kids in graduating high school or getting ready for college or getting ready to get that degree. So hopefully it'll just kind of give a little bit of encouragement, a little bit of insight into not only Allendale County or South Carolina, but just kind of what's happening around the world. What I found out, and this is something that I'm going to share with you guys, what I found out is that when you share a little bit of hope with people, a lot of times they're going to hold on to it. So the Ignite Your Dreams Fest is started with a project called Petals and Stars. It was Petals and Pearls at one time. Boys don't like pearls, so we changed it to Petals and Stars. And it's kids sharing encouragement with our farmers, with our veterans, with our first responders. And thousands of notes have gone out to share with these groups. We've shared with our local farmers here. I'm going to walk around. You guys pick you a little. I don't even know what these, what your message is going to say. But the whole purpose of it all is just to, you know, be a little bit of light. Recently,
Sure, I can.
I know, Mr. Gooding, see,
How you
you
doing?
need two. I'm going to give you two of them.
Oh,
See, recently, we shared some, well, this was last year back in July. I shared one with a police officer, and I saw him like November. He's like, I still got it. I keep my little note in the car above my dashboard. And so this whole project kind of incorporates that idea, sharing a little bit of hope, a little bit of encouragement. So what would I love for you guys to do? Sponsor the program. We would love it if the county would come on board with us and help us ignite some dreams. Groups that we're inviting are from other counties. From Allendale, of course, Hampton, Barnwell, Bamberg. So we're bringing in a lot of people to this community. We would also love it if you would have a float in a parade that we're planning for the 13th. Parade starts at 10 a.m. and the concept of the parade is for our students, is for them to kind of dress out their dreams. So if they want to be an attorney, if they want to be a doctor, if they want to be a race car driver, whatever it is, this is, you know, what they're going to be wearing, and we'll celebrate them. It's a whole to-do. It really is. It really is. Hillary Pope and I had a discussion on yesterday about Clemson Extension Office. They're going to build out a maze. The kids can walk through, find out more about farming. The prayer is at the end of it. They'll have the ice cream machine from the dairy piece at Clemson University. So it's going to be a really big deal. It really is. I will send you guys more information, but I had to come tonight just to find out if, first of all, if you would support it as a county, and then for sponsorship as well.
What is your monetary amount on the sponsorship?
Okay, we're asking $1,000 from each council. So from the town of Allendale, town of Fairfax, and then from the county. That will cover some of what we're doing, but it really just falls down to, you know, just having you guys on board.
You got a budget?
We had a budget that was like way over the top and.
Well, we're gonna consider this, we need to look at the budget.
Yeah. The budget is $10,000, Mr. Gooding. I can
Well, I
give you
mean,
the proposal.
I'll line it up, tell us what each item is for and all that kind of stuff.
Absolutely, I
That'd be a
will get the
little more
proposal to you. The thing is, you guys meet once a month, so it's kind of, for you to make a decision on it, you're looking at probably March timeframe.
What's the date of it again?
It's May 13th and 14th.
And I serve on that committee with Mrs. Cave, and we had a Zoom meeting last night at 6. Reason why I was not at the other 6 o'clock meeting. And I've spoken briefly with Recreation about this, and especially the portion that concerns having former athletes come back. I don't know if you caught that program, Good Morning America, a year or so ago, when we had a local gentleman who played in our program, Terry Gill, who's a commentator now. Terry's from Fairfax. So, you know, he used athletics to get into broadcasting, which is a good thing. And we're certainly going to try to have him back. And some of the other, maybe not as widely known as Mr. Gill, to show our kids that, yeah, you can play sports, but beyond that, you know, there's other things that you will be able to involve yourself in. So, which I think is a good segue into the whole idea of having our kids dress up in different costumes or arranged that different professions generally they see almost on a
I think it's a good idea, but I still think the council needs to see where the budget.
Oh, yeah, I agree, but I'm
Cheryl, you can email it to me or email it to Ms. Judy to see in person.
I can, and,
Give it to us and we'll make a decision.
Rick, I'm going to get it to you in time this time so that I can actually get on the agenda instead of
Yeah.
coming in under
Be
comment.
helpful.
So that will be helpful, so you guys can see the whole
All right.
picture.
Thanks for
But
coming
at
in.
least you have the idea.
Appreciate what you do, Michelle.
Yeah.
And to correct that, that's Tyler Gill.
I'm sorry.
You said Terry, I just wanted.
Yeah, it's
to-
Tyler Gill,
Okay.
Mr. Gill.
Okay, thank you.
Are we coming to the visitors now? Before we get to visitors, Marlon, I'm assuming, do you want to talk again, or that your guess was what you were doing?
Oh, it's just been.
Okay, you're done? Okay, okay. All right, Mr. Cal Landers from Southern Carolina Alliance. New beard and everything.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just wanted to come tonight and just give you guys just a few updates of some things that we've got going on in Allendale. And I just wanted to touch just on some of our existing industries. ACPA, the peroxide group that's in the old speculative building. Quick update, they're waiting on permanent power. They've got an electrical contractor that needs to do some communication with Dominion Energy. And so that's the last step in that process. They've got some, but I think they're finally in the home stretch. Another one that's been a long time going is the Eurocan project. We met with them a couple of weeks ago. Still working on upfit. The next big challenge for them, or the next big step for them, is to get lights into the production area. They indicated that they had lights that had been ordered that through supply chain was stuck in New York. They're anticipating that they'll be down in March. So hopefully we'll see a little more forward progress. They said once we get the lights, we can start working on the other items. So we're hopeful that that's going to progress sometime next month. I had a great visit with Skip Queen at Queenwood. Guys, you would not believe, if you saw that facility before he's gotten a hold of it, what he's done with that. It looks good, and again, hopefully he'll be up and running by end of March, 1st of April. And but it's just phenomenal the work that he's done at that place. Also, you may have heard that 4-Star has been sold to a company called ArtCore, and we're currently working with the team at ArtCore to work on some incentives to promote a possible expansion, a few new jobs, and some new equipment that they're going to potentially bring into the county. So stay tuned for that. We'll probably be back at your door in the next couple of months to discuss that a little further. But right now, that seems to be tracking pretty well. Also, you may have noticed the sign at the Point Sauk Industrial Park. We are planning another 50,000 square foot speculative building that will go on the cleared site, and this is the of course between the site between Allendale and Fairfax, and we are partnering with Agricel. We've been able to procure a pretty sizable grant, and so SCA in conjunction with Agricel will be building the building. They're in the final stages of paperwork. Hopefully that'll be finished out this month, and look forward to probably seeing you guys hopefully at a groundbreaking or a ribbon cutting at that property pretty soon. So, but it'll look very similar to the other building, and so once it's complete, we'll work on getting somebody else in there. Just a few more things. Thank you for adding those first two readings in title only to the agenda. This is associated with the West Fraser project, and this is first one is a fee in lieu of tax, and the second is the abandonment of an original multi-county park agreement that was associated with the property, and the adoption of the property into a new 70-10-10-10 park agreement. Let's see. Does anybody, I've got one more just quick announcement. Does anybody have any questions about anything that I've mentioned to you tonight?
Yep. Kelly, you got the total job numbers for everything you talked about right now? Just off the top.
Just, Bill, I don't. The Arc Corps, they're looking at about 16 plus what they've got there. West Fraser was, I think, 132. And I don't remember the numbers for ACBA. They were, they were more of a distribution.
So she's saying 150 above.
Yes.
150 plus.
Yeah. So I think we're going to have a good, fingers crossed, a good 2022.
Good.
And also, I know y'all know about this because I've heard it on the radio a whole lot, but West Fraser is having a job fair this Saturday at the old Fred's building. That's the old welding school. SCA owns that building. We're teaming up with Radio SC and West Fraser and having a job fair. It'll be 10 o'clock to 4 Saturday, the 19th, this Saturday, and they're also doing a second one on Saturday the 26th. So if you know somebody that's looking, if you know somebody that was displaced when Georgia Pacific shut down, just please help us get the word out. We want to get a real big turnout and really impress those guys and show them that Allendale's ready to work. And that's all I got.
Thanks, Gil.
Good job. Thanks, Kelly.
Okay. And Marlon, you said you did all yours in public comments?
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right. Come on to council reports. I guess I'm next on the hit list. Not a whole lot. Dr. Molnar, I'm sorry, did you sneak in behind me? I didn't see you when I walked in. I want to thank you, Lower Side Council, for coming in.
Good to see you, sir. How are you?
Good to see you. Thank you for joining us tonight.
Always a pleasure.
Also, Mr. Goodson, our county administrator, he's out. Had an illness all week. Said he may be back in the office tomorrow. Don't know, but a little bit under the weather. Only thing I had in my report was a meeting last night. I thought it eventually became productive. Southern Carolina Alliance, Danny Black was there, and basically talked about a study on police and law enforcement in our county. As we know, we're down to less than 10,000 people. We have 3 different police departments. The guys are undermanned, they're understaffed, I guess is a better way to put it. Don't have the equipment we need, training, etc. This study that not going to cost the county anything is hopefully going to figure out a way to get these guys what they need, maybe get us 24-hour service, and also show us what we need to be paying them and things like that. Just is basically what the meeting was about, and possibly consolidation. That's on the table. This is it was going to be an in-depth study, and everyone from Allendale, actually the whole group, everybody, wasn't one person opposed to it last night. There were representatives from the town of Allendale, town of Fairfax, and of course our council was there. And everybody seemed to be in favor of it, so let's hopefully we'll get a step forward in the right direction in law enforcement in Allendale County and see if we can get these guys some help. And that's pretty much all I got. Mr. Conley, you're next.
Yeah, I'd like to build on what you said. I thought it was a good meeting. Thought it was very informative, to get the ball rolling. I don't really have much. I know me and Mr. Robinson met with Mr. Joyner with the Parks and Rec, and I'm sure him being the chairman, he's going to touch a little more on that. But just want to let Marlon and the guys know that, we do have your back. I think it's quite sad how bad the parks have gotten over the years. I don't know how it's gotten to the point that it's gotten to, but it has, and, you know, we can't point fingers, got to move forward, and whether we got to start writing some grants to try to get some of this stuff rebuilt, and I don't know, we're just going to have to dig deep and figure it out, and it's sad to see when you ride by and see how it's gotten to that point. It's really sad. But anyway, you do, I think you have the council support with moving forward. Just get us some good ideas and some good concrete direction, and I don't think you have a problem getting support from the county. This is not really a report. If I'm out of order, tell me. I ran across, well, the SRS settlement funds. This thing came out, I think right before I joined in January of last year, and didn't really hear much about it. And in August, the governor had a town hall meeting in Aiken. So the county of Allendale was represented with some plans of projects that the county wanted to have. I never heard about any of the projects until the morning of the meeting. And originally they were $10 million to go towards a technical training center, $3 million to go towards an industrial park, I think it's Point Salt. And at the time I was kind of leery, but you know, at the same time I thought it was ultimately a good idea. And then today I see where Allendale's got a new list of projects that I have no idea where it came from. Now, supposedly we've got projects for $15 million to give to Allendale School District, which I find kind of strange because coming from the state, all they're preaching is school consolidation, so I don't understand that. $4.5 million go to the CV Bean building for law enforcement and other town and county facilities. And not to harp on your project, your pet project, but I find it strange that we want to put $4.5 million of state money when we have a private developer that's willing to put the $10, $20 million into the project. And with that being said, I mean, Senator Brad Hutto just gave us a new law enforcement building for our sheriff's department, so I really don't understand that. And then we went from $3 million in industrial park to $5 million. And I would just like to know who's speaking on behalf of the county council, because I certainly don't know anything about it.
Well, who's coming up with these projects?
Where'd they come from?
Well, no, that's why.
I think we got a lot of outside interest in the money that we're supposed to get, and a lot of politicians interfering and putting their own thing on the agenda. You know, this is election year, and they can easily use this money to gain public opinion positively. So
I agree. You know, I'm definitely not against putting money towards our school district, but I mean, anybody that's kept up with what's going on in the state, they are preaching school consolidation, especially in the smaller communities.
Well, I just hate to see last night.
I just hate to see us swirl $15 million into a project that the school may be consolidated in a few years. I mean, we squandered so much money in this county in the past, and I just wish we could get together as a council and talk instead of reading this stuff in the newspaper.
Where did that come from?
It was in the Times Democrat today.
Orangeburg?
No, not Post and Courier.
Post and Courier, that's Charleston.
So I don't know where these numbers.
I don't know where those numbers
projects
come from. Does anyone talk to Post and Courier? I mean, is anybody?
I have not talked with anyone, but I do know in talking with our representative, mainly Lonnie, there's been a lot of folks asking for different things, and that's why I concentrated on that $200 million excess money that we'll be using for first-time projects as the old wish list, which I don't know whether we've gotten that wish list completed and out to Lonnie and Brad and to Senator Maggi. But I can tell you, I was at the meeting with the governor. Danny spoke, and I spoke in reference to Allendale County. I asked for $25 million at a minimum for the county.
This adds up to about $25 million.
Does it?
Yeah.
Okay.
24/5, yeah.
But I didn't have any particular project. I did mention the redevelopment of CD Bank, and the governor took notes. I've spoken about that project here. We've had the developer come before us and talk about it, and that's pretty much what he thought would be our share to help this project move along. As far as any formal requests, other than, my speaking to Lonnie and spoke briefly in Aiken on that particular project. I just think, and I think Rick and I talked about this a few weeks ago, about getting together, because numbers were being thrown out that we had no idea where those numbers was coming from. So I think, Matt, you're right. We need to sit down and kind of talk, because I think what I was told last night, the Senate has already passed their version of it. Now it goes to the House. So if we're going to do anything, then it's time to do it now. And I think, Mr. Mullen?
Yes, sir, Doc.
To let you know, that bill actually, yes, it came out of the House committee, it's going to the House floor. In the Senate, it came out of committee, it already received a second reading in the Senate. And what Senator Setzler wanted to make sure of is wherever those projects are, the county doesn't have a choice of changing anything. You've got whatever is in there that's in that legislation, that money has to go to that specific project. And they're making
And that's
sure.
the Senate, that's the Senate's version, correct?
That's in the Senate, okay? That's with Senator Setzler and making sure that that's in there. Now, it also has to go to conference committee and all that, most likely, but if you're gonna jump on this now, jump on it, you gotta do it now. And you gotta talk with Brad as well as Lonnie Hosey, okay?
I'd just like to know where $15 million to go to the high school came from. I've never heard that. It's
No idea, sir.
Never
I just
dawned on me, and not that I don't think these kids deserve the best, but we sat in that same meeting last night with Danny Black, and he was talking, we have less than 1,000 students in the school system. There's a good chance we're up for consolidation, because I think the state, what did he say, the floor for not being consolidated, like 3,500 students?
Yeah.
Am I correct?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'd hate to spend $15 million on the high school. Not that these kids don't deserve it, I'm not saying that, but I just hate to spend $15 million in another empty building.
Yeah,
I agree with you.
I'd like to know who's speaking on our behalf. I mean,
I would
we were
too.
elected to serve these people out here, and we're getting represented somewhere, and I don't have a clue where it's coming from. So I think we need to get together in the next few days, throw some ideas together, get it sent up to Columbia, and whatever they got in the newspaper needs to probably be changed. I don't know. I don't understand
Yeah.
any of it. That's all I have.
All right, next on the list, Mr. Gooding.
Me?
You, sir.
I agree with Matthew. I think everybody's spending our money but us. And a lot of us being politically motivated this election year and everything like that. You don't hear much of them. We got some priorities. As far as I'm concerned, law enforcement, whether it be sheriff's department, whether it be police departments in the county, they need money and they need equipment and they need men. You're worried about all this crime, and we've got a lot of crime and a lot of shooting, but don't have enough men to cover it. And these gentlemen right here brought up a great idea. We need an elaborate recreational complex in Allendale County. I'm not talking about the CV Bang, I'm talking about an individual, private, not private, but exclusive recreational park. You need take a look at Barnwell and Hampton and some of the other counties, and they put together baseball programs and things like that. And I for one, would vote for another elaborate recreational department and also law enforcement enhancement.
Yeah.
Desperately need that.
Our public safety definitely needs upgrade. I'll agree with you there. Our public safety definitely needs upgrade. Fire, law, and EMS.
The whole 9 yards. And I resent how the representative and the senator sticking their nose in telling us where we've got to spend. They're spending it for us. We may not get a chance to spend a dime. And we, the people that live here and know what's going on, we've got our finger on the pulse of the community. and they won't listen. Cause we kind of felt like this was the way it was gonna happen. Anytime there's large sums of money, people from everywhere are gonna interfere with it, so I don't know what we're gonna do about it, because, you know,
I think the point is, did we reach out, or did our legislator reach out to us?
who?
You said you talked to Representative Hosey.
I talked to him. It's not like,
I've never been contacted.
it wasn't that he reached out to me, but in our conversation, Lonnie toured the CD Bank, so he knew pretty much about that project. So, of course, that's in my district.
You
And
may have, but
and
if
I
we
like
won't-
to see it be done.
But what if the
But I-
council votes and they don't wanna support it?
Well, then that's,
They're gonna railroad us?
well,
They're gonna-
I don't know, to be honest with you. But
That's what I'm getting at.
it's the other pieces that I don't quite understand. If we get in 25, that's what it adds up to?
That says 24 and a half.
Okay. Then we're only getting 4.5 out of it for the county? If they do the CD Bank thing?
The way you're spending it looks like, that, you know, I'm happy to get the money, but we
But what
really
I'm
need-
saying, we should have had at some point, someone, and Rick, you and I talked about this, we should have had a meeting with the powers that be and give them a list of priorities. But nobody asked us. Same
They
thing
gonna
with the
I
wish
don't
list.
know where the first wish list came from or the second wish list, but anyway,
Well, my wish list that I presented months ago was about the ARPA money. It wasn't SRS money. And if you notice, I included the CD Bank project in the ARPA money. Okay?
All right.
So, nothing that involves the CV Bank was part of the SRS money. It did come up when I spoke to the governor and spoke in Aiken
Well, it got put in there somehow.
about the redevelopment. So, it was either you put it in with the ARPA fund, which we did, which I did. I don't think it's moved from there. And, you know, mention it, because Lonnie was invited, he came down, took a look at it. So,
You gave your list to Honey?
no, I haven't given my list to anybody except council.
Okay.
Now, Lonnie, when he came down, he, with the two we had of the CV Bank project, probably back in September, October, spoke with the developer. They sent him, as they sent council, that redevelopment plan, which include a consolidated law enforcement project center in that area.
I don't know, but I'm just saying.
So basically, what I'm saying to council, what should have happened, day one, is council getting together with our legislators because they are the drivers for that SRS money, and we failed to do that. Same thing with the 200 million of ARPA money that will be used for various projects throughout the state. I sent it to council back in August of last year. Matt had some questions about it last week. You know, the ARPA money includes the infrastructure money. The wish list that I gave you last month included a countywide water system. That's infrastructure. And I think Danny mentioned that last night about water. So we've had an opportunity to at least take a look at what this county needs. And if you notice, I also asked for about $500,000 to upgrade the recreation. And that's sitting
$500,000 ain't gonna do
somewhere.
it.
That's sitting somewhere. And I gave that to council last month.
$500,000 is not going very far to upgrade your recreation.
Well, at least it's a start.
Well, where we gonna get the rest of it? You're gonna start it, where's the funds coming to finish it?
Well, you could take $500,000 and do some great upgrades. What I've seen with Laurie over the last few weeks, we visit every site in this county.
You know what, they're gonna use that 500,000, whoever's gonna have it, they're gonna use it to draw plans. I bet the brick and mortar's not even included in that.
Well,
But anyway, it's a good idea, but
Well, what I'm saying, Carl, I know you have given some wish lists to Mr. Goodson, maybe some of the others. But we've sat on it for a month.
I mean, I've got a wish list, but we've never got together to talk about
You
it,
know,
so.
and we
I
asked.
think we need to get together immediately, send it up, whether it's sitting together or not, we need to do it.
I mean, you're hopping on the SRS money, and that's
All the money, I mean, everything.
I don't
It
care
should
where
be
it comes
everything,
from, we just need
you know,
to-
because what's gonna happen, if we don't have a wish list, then somebody else gonna tell us what we're gonna get.
Well, apparently they've already done.
That's what I'm
No, I'm talking
Somebody stole
about,
somebody
I'm
something.
talking about the ARPA money, I'm not talking about the SRS money.
Yes,
That's
ma'am.
what I was getting at. We've got the list, but they're gonna probably not listen to it.
Yes, if you want to interject, ma'am?
I know sometimes communication and so many moving parts in the county are an issue, but there's a 2010 Planning Commission plan, and I know that's 12 years old, but, you know, I haven't reviewed it completely, but there are some long-term ideas that at some point a group of citizens believe were important. And also like the meeting Mr. Hartley had with the citizens, the infrastructure, the things like that, to have a long-range working plan, so when we get funds like this, we know what we're gonna work on. You know, we can't change everything on that at one time. You know, I'd love for us to have an Aiken Park, I'd love for us to have a Barwell Park, but look how long it took Barwell to get it. But I think what happens, we have a lot of people with vision, and we want great things, but we don't have a long-term plan. And I think that's part of where we need to start. And I'm not talking down any, it's just viewing it from the outside, you know, having a long-term plan, having these things already set, and following the things in our vision, because there are a lot of great visions in this county. It's just keeping it all together and through.
Andrew, we had the same, Matt and I had the same conversation last night about 5-year, 10-year plan. So I think we know what we gotta do, it's just taking the time to do it.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Robinson, you got anything for your report, or?
Oh, I got a lot.
Oh, Lord, more?
Yeah, I got more.
Hit us with it.
One of the things I'm concerned about, as you know, our money has been released, and we still got another audit hanging out there. And I say this to Chair and Vice Chair. We need to move forward, make certain that those auditors get that thing completed.
Well, actually, money was released and it's frozen again.
Yeah, that's
It's
what,
frozen again.
that's what,
And I did not give a good stake because he's under the weather, but if I understand, they should have that complete. What did you tell us?
It was April.
April? Was that what it was? I know it was
Okay.
March or April.
all right.
That's what was announced at the last meeting.
So y'all guys on top of that?
Well,
Okay, all right.
take his word for it, I guess.
That's what
Also-
the administrator said.
If you look at, this is an election year for us, and it's a countywide election year. We still have about 3 vacancies in the Voter Registration Commission. So I would suggest that Mr. Goodson talk to Bob Conley to verify that, so we can see where the vacancies are in terms of district or at large. Walter, I know you sat on one of the protests, and, you know, right now I've been told we only have 4 out of the 7. So you got
There were 3 at the present.
3 at, okay. So you pretty much need a full, at least a majority of the members there. So I would suggest we go ahead and.
There's 3 vacancies for the voter registration board?
Yes.
Does the council appoint that? Because I'm not familiar.
We make recommendations
Okay,
to the legislators.
okay.
Okay. You seen my appointee, and I make a motion that Corey Berry be appointed to the zoning.
Yeah, I didn't see that to the last, I didn't see it for you. If you want to go ahead and make your motion?
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
that's fine.
I make that motion that she be appointed to the zoning appeal board.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Okay.
Nay?
And lastly, recreation.
Either click on this?
Okay.
Yeah, well, just want to make sure if she was appointed.
Yes.
Zoning Appeals Board with Ms. Cora Berry, do you have her contact information?
So much.
Okay. Ms. Barr, just make sure she's contacted. That still leaves, we still have 1 available.
Is my district?
It's not a district-wide, they're all, but you didn't want one.
Well, I hadn't done one. I wasn't here last meeting. I just want, and just to add to what Mr. Robinson said, so I won't forget, that, yeah, we just need to update each council member and communicate a little bit better so we'll know what we're doing, when we're doing, and how we're doing it. You know, I mean, we can appoint people, we can spend money, but if we don't get together, and I've been mentioning months now, and on YouTube, go back on your YouTube, because we're public wise, when these funds was coming down, I asked what the amount for these funds, and I think a lot of it is the administrator, he's not in his absence, I don't want to say anything negative about him, but it's like, we know this money's coming down. I did see one wish list, and I'm hoping in the future, we know when money coming down, but we are not being informed when it's coming down. Like, this is the first time I'm hearing that the freeze is back on our money. It's from the State Department, which I know some of it was released.
Yeah, it was released today
Yeah.
because of favor last
But-
week.
but
we
order.
saw it, yeah.
So I'm just hoping that we do a little bit more better communication, so it won't look so bad when the public see it, that hadn't talked first. Because see, this might be coming from, if we didn't bust this to the other people, and not but one person left. You know, it's our administrator, and it's not fair that we debate this, you know what I'm saying? Well, he should be present to let us know what's going on. Better communication would be very helpful, not just to us, but to our citizens as well.
And lastly, thank you, lastly on recreation, Matt and I did meet with Laurie, Mike, I think on the last day of January 31st, I believe, about 2 weeks ago, 2.5. And basically, we spoke in reference to her coming up with a performance improvement plan and also a program improvement plan to give us some idea. And we asked that she do it within 30 to 45 days, present it to council, present it to the board, and we will track her development towards those 2 PIPs, you know, for 6 months, and come back and to council and to the board with a evaluation. And that's what we will recommend to council. I did have the opportunity to visit all 7 or 8 facilities we have. The Elmer facility is probably in better shape than the rest of the facilities. I hope we can get a sign there showing that. It needs some minor repairs, but I was impressed with it. It's not being used like it should be, because I think people may not know exactly where it's at, but it sits away from the tracks, and it's not a crowded area, good for parents to take their kids out. The equipment is in good shape. Sycamore, we need some fix-up. Laurie did do a repair list for all facility that we visit, and I don't know if they got back at the Sycamore area, but I'm hoping it will. I do know at Morris Home, we had a whole list of fix-up. The guy's been working on that for the last 2 weeks. It looks better. If you go to Morris Home, then you go to Fairfax baseball field. It's 2 different countries. I mean, Fairfax. And I know the school property, they've done a good job upkeeping that. Our Morris Home fields don't look like baseball fields.
They sure don't.
You know, and we got to change that.
I agree.
Now, the Welcome Center that was mentioned, I mean, that was a gift from the state, and we really have not developed that like we should have.
Well, I got a question for you on that. Why is Lower Savannah River Alliance, what is that, their logo's up there?
Yeah.
That's our building, but they just have the banner up there?
Yeah.
We have total control of that building?
We have total control. We allow Lower Savannah Alliance to use it. It's an economic development group made up of Screven, Effingham, Burke, Richmond, and Allendale, Baltimore, and Hampton counties.
Are they still using it?
I talked with Laurie a few days ago. It has not been used frequently because of the COVID, but one of the things that 7 County did was to promote Savannah River for economic development. And
Didn't work, did it? I said, that hasn't worked very well, has it?
Well, if you notice some of the events, and I know you get noticed, there's a lot of events that's been promoted by the Alliance, fishing tournaments and boat rides up and down the river. We've had a sort of like a carnival. It used to be.
I think we could find out a better way to use that building than that.
Well, and I think we should.
We need to put it to use. That crowd, those other counties you were talking about, we furnished the building, we furnished the electricity, we furnished the water. They never put a dime toward the effort.
Well, let's put it this way. When I was involved with LSRA, Effingham, which is on the lower end of the river, they were a major contributor financially to everything we did.
Really?
Yeah.
I've never heard, that's the first time I've heard of that.
Oh, yeah.
How much did they give us?
They sponsored most of the programming that we had out there early on.
I think when you start looking at Allendale County, don't worry about Effingham.
I'm like Sammy, a recreational park would be.
Well, it's, you gotta realize, just like we formulated that group, we're gonna break it up, then we gotta do it the right way. So I don't know exactly the status, except I know COVID has caused a downplay on some of the events.
Who would have that, Lori?
Lori.
Yeah, we need to get with Lori then.
Yeah, we'll talk with
We
Lori.
need to get with Lori, let's figure it out.
Also visit the Martin Park.
That's a disaster.
And I hope we will have some recommendation to at least by spring, early summer, to put the recreation portion of it, I'm talking about the playground area, in use. We got to do something, because the equipment itself is in great shape, and I don't see why the citizens in that area can't use the playground equipment and the picnic show. I mean, it's.
Well, we've got a well sitting down there that's never been hooked up.
I know. Now, I gave the administrator on Monday a package to ask him, but he wasn't in, and apparently he's not in. But Laurie was able to retrieve the drawings for the Martin Park. And I don't know if the council have seen that.
I've never seen it.
Okay. And I was going to ask Bill to send it out to council. And you need to see exactly how it was configured from day one, so we have a better idea exactly what was the intent out there. Now, all that being said, we made a mistake and we got to fix it. I could go on and on, but I
know.
Please don't. All right, Mr. Ross, you done?
Damn.
You sure? Ms. Taylor?
Okay, yes, and mine could be short and sweet, and I would like to see, and I'm gonna ask our attorney first, but it would be helpful to us if we take all state funding and do 3 readings, public hearing, and that would give the citizen the opportunity to give their input, what money we get from the State Department, and before we act on any of the funds. And this way, it won't go, because that's the rule, and that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to have 3 readings and a public hearing. So if we, as unified, when any money come down, if we continue to do like we're supposed to do, the 3 reading and the public hearing, that'll give us opportunity to have our brainstorms and what we want to do with funds, and it also give the opportunity, like we did tonight, to have the citizen have a comment before we do anything with the funding.
What state funds are you talking about?
Like if funds that can help betterment of Allendale County, even if it's the SRS like you're talking about.
Those federal.
Yeah, federal, yeah, state funding, any money that come in there, if we could give, first we could sit down and talk and have 3 readings on it and do a public hearing so that the citizens would know what we're doing, it would be it'll be unified with everybody. Instead of if someone's speaking for us, we don't know who's speaking. So the thing is, if you had 3 readings and a public hearing, no one can come up with no complaints because everybody have input on it.
Well, I think we, based on those numbers, we know exactly who was speaking for.
Who is that?
I mean, to see where the money going.
Who is that? I still didn't get clarity on it. Who do you think it is?
I would have to look at those numbers again and those projects.
Okay. That's what we just need to know. We need to know We, as leaders, we need to know, and we also need to bring back the common courtesy to our citizens, to give them the opportunity to have an input, and then we act on it.
Well, as Dr. Monar said, it's not completely dead, but one of the things we should have done day one with the SRS money, we as a council should have got together and decide what we wanted, how much we wanted, and what we were gonna use it for.
And he also
That
said, but he
never
also
was
said
done.
now we need to do it immediately. We can get together, we still got time. Regardless of what was said, we still got time right now to set up another meeting. I don't care if it's tomorrow morning, after this meeting, and present something so that we can get what's needs best for the citizens of Allendale County. And that's all I have, Mr. Chair.
All right. Administrator's not here. Mr. Walter,
Okay, I just,
you got any updates on any of the property, like as far as the sheriff's department new building?
yes, that's what I was gonna tell you.
Oh, good deal.
We do have the, a contract for sale that has been signed by the state and the county, and we've actually got a closing scheduled for March the 15th. I talked with the representative today, and they're in the process of preparing the deed, and once the deed's prepared and sent to me for review, and they sign it, then we'll send them the money that we have, you know, in our account that came from the state, and then we'll close it. So that they can get, because there was an issue about them getting into the building and doing some fiber optic lines and things. And it wasn't recommended until we actually owned it in case something happened.
Okay.
But we're scheduled to close on March 5th.
Funds are there, everything good to go there, no issues.
We have the
Great.
funds in the account.
Good deal, great.
And then I have two other items, but they're for executive session.
Okay, that's fine. All right, moving on to old business. We have third reading of an ordinance for Redistricting Allendale County pursuant to the 2020 census, excuse my English. That's what we had the preliminary about, meeting. I guess we just
Chairman?
need, yes, sir.
Make a motion, we approve the redistricting approve the ordinance, redistricting Allendale County.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, passed. All right, let's go into new business. Ordinance for the park. Matthew, you got those two?
I need to read all this?
Mr. Wall, I was going to ask, does he need to read both of these? There's two ordinances here.
Yes.
All right.
He needs to read the title of both of them.
Title of
All right,
both.
ordinance 1, consideration B, an ordinance authorizing the execution and delivery of a fee in lieu of tax and special source revenue credit agreement by and between Allendale County, South Carolina, and a company known to the county at this time as Project Mercury with respect to certain economic development property in the county, whereby such property will be subject to certain payments in lieu of taxes, including the provision of certain special source credits and other matters related thereto.
That's number one.
Ordinance one.
Okay.
Need
Make a motion, we approve.
Okay. All in favor? Oh, excuse me, second. Need a second? Well, I can second. Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Nays? All right, that's
Ordinance number 2, consideration, an ordinance to amend the agreement for development of a multi-county industrial and business park to be located in Allendale County, Bamberg County, and Barnwell County, South Carolina, providing for the development of a joint county industrial and business park, so as to remove property in Allendale County from the joint county industrial park and include property from Allendale County into a multi-county industrial and business park created by and between Allendale County, Bamberg County, Barnwell County, and Hampton County, South Carolina, and other matters related thereto.
Make a motion, we approve.
Second.
Favor?
Aye.
Nays? All right, that's approved. All right, on to new business now. We had a person resign from the airport commission, Mr. Horace Matthews. Councilman Gooding, that is your appointee.
Really?
Yeah,
I
Horace.
remember I put, what, okay.
He resigned.
Well, I'll come up with one by the next meeting.
Okay. All right, so just keep that in mind. You got to come.
Oh, wait a minute. I do remember, Catherine Theron, that's who, Kathy Theron?
Kathy there?
Yeah, that's who I want. She was on there once before and was taken off for some reason, but I'd like to put it, she's very interested in the airport, and her mom was instrumental in helping build that airport, so it'd be good to put her back on.
All right, Kathy there, that's your appointee to take Mr.
Yeah,
Matthews'
that's
place?
my appointee.
All right,
Second.
all right. On this
Got
one,
to
vote on that, do we?
We need to vote on it?
Yeah.
Do we need to vote
No,
on
he
it?
appointed the
He appointed,
necessary.
okay, all right. All right, that's all I have. Need a motion to go into executive session?
Mr. Chairman, I saw a new librarian come in. Okay. Just like for her to introduce herself. You didn't get on
I'm
our
sorry,
list.
I didn't know.
Okay.
I'm sorry, but now I know what
All
the
right.
procedure is.
Please introduce yourself.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Carolyn Portson, and I am the new director for the Allendale, Hampton, Jasper Regional Library. And it is a pleasure for me to be on the team for the library so that we can do some things to better improve library services here in the county. So I'm glad to be here, and thank you so much, Councilman Robinson, for recognizing me. I also would like to state that previously I worked at Denmark Technical College for 9 years, so of course I know Councilwoman Taylor.
Welcome.
Thank you. So just wanted to come back, introduce myself, and you will definitely hear from me again. Thank you.
And Ms. Forson, would you
Yes.
mind, I'm on your board, would you mind letting me know when your meetings are taking place?
Sure.
Because
sure.
I hadn't got any information on that yet.
Definitely.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, nice meeting you. All right, any motion then?
Take a motion when we go into executive session.
So moved.
5-minute break.
Bye.
Make it about 2 minutes. Give me another click. All right, it's gonna bring us back into general, open session. It's 5 minutes after 8 o'clock.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion that we increase the fire department budget by $42,000 for salaries. And that we ask next month for Sheriff Carter and Mrs. Capers at the jail to come in and present their budget for adjustment request.
Submit their proposals.
Submit proposals for adjustment, budget adjustments.
Second. All in favor? Aye. Nays? All right, motion passed.
Make a motion, we adjourn, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
Favor?
Rick.
Robinson?